and somebody's dropped in on our YouTube channel to say good morning.
I'll see. Have you seen a name?
Yeah, me.
Huh?
I went in there, Peter, and I just said hello. So if anybody does visit the YouTube page, they'll see a message from me.
I'll see
I'm
those.
just going to close a few things down. Okay. Oh, can I hear myself?
Yeah, I get them confused with you, Stephen, because you've got Stephen Healey live with you've got Blabbing for Britain, you've got Be.Live in 5. I get confused with it all.
So do I from time to time, Peter. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It's 10 a.m. It's Blabbing for Britain, episode 254. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
And good morning, John.
Good morning.
Right, one was a bright and breezy good morning. One was, well, it's sunny in you just told us it's sunny in Solihull.
It is sunny, but I can't go outside, can I? I've got lots of work to do today.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
I'd like to be down my allotment. But that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Not today.
No.
Right. Okay. And Peter, you were just talking about Twitter.
Yes, I think we should have a Blabbing for Britain Twitter and start following people and put a link out to our show.
John?
I have. Oh, I think I've got an echo, have I? Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Is it me? Oh, can't hear an echo now.
No,
I did for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I have more success client-wise with Twitter than I do with Facebook.
Right. Well, it's interesting you should... Hold on, I'm just going to go back here. It's interesting you should say that because I opened the Twitter account again and I follow Pimlico Plumbers. Now, have you had a Pimlico Plumbers?
Yeah, with all of the Rolls-Royce driving maniac. Yeah,
right, who's had his car damaged by a cyclist the other day who's been fined and paid for the damage. So I watch him and they put out kind of the same messages every day. It's quite interesting. So I've started following people making a comment is Aberkil, my business, and then I put out some facts about bed bugs and things, and I'm starting to get noticing people start to follow me again. So that's what I plan to do with my business, one of the bets.
Well, Twitter's, I mean, I use Twitter a lot. I use it to promote my blog. I use it to promote the shows. I use it to promote videos on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I mean, when it first began, we're going back a bit now, about 10 years, it was conversations. Now there's no conversation really. It's just a broadcasting medium. So you actually go on there and you're advertising your wares, whether it be video, blog or live. And we say good morning to our first visitor of the day. Morning, Nick is saying, morning chaps, looking forward to seeing you on TikTok. Okay, now this is Peter's fault. So let's go to the agenda and let's bring up the topic of the day, our first topic of the day, which is TikTok. Now, Peter, why TikTok?
Well, it's just another platform there, but here's the thing. It's all youngsters and it's funny things, etc. I don't use it much, but it got installed on my phone, so I've done the first TikTok and see what it brings. But, I've had youngsters following me before on Facebook, and then they'll say, Mum, you've got a problem, here's a guy to get, So don't underestimate every bit of media, because if I was to get a job for £1,000 through TikTok, hey, I'll take it, would you?
Yeah. But
I haven't got to grips with it yet. I don't know if you've seen the first TikTok.
Yeah, it's alien. Do you need 1,000 followers to go live on there?
I don't know.
Right. Okay. John, TikTok.
That's the noise the clock in the hall makes. TikTok. I've made zero interest in it. I have no intention of having any interest in it. Okay. Everything I've seen on it so far has been, forced onto me by people reposting it into Facebook, and it's all been rubbish. So
yeah, I'm the same. I don't think my appearance on TikTok may take a while. Okay, over to Chris, and Chris is saying hello, Stephen, Peter, and John. Hello, Chris. And
I don't know if you've seen anything, but my apologies, Chris. I thought you were a dude. She's been a dude for ages.
Peter met Chris last night, or saw Chris live. And,
we've known since the beginning that she's a lady. So,
definitely.
Get your bloody act together, Peter.
Dear me.
I also want to know how long you've been handling women's problems, because you said, Mum, you've got a problem. This is the man for you. Yeah.
I've heard that happen, I met some guys because I used to go on videos, you remember? It was actually 4 years ago. And guys come up to me when I was singing in the pub. And he said, see man, they come up and they says, one of them said, I told my mum to get you when she had a mouse problem. And that works for me, And the thing is, I don't have my sidekick anymore. He was very, he was very good for it. But I think Nathan's going to be fun as well. And I'm going to go back and do these things because I had a bit of a following. But usually with me, I give up quite early. I get burnt out.
There's a hint about content for TikTok, Peter, from Chris.
Right.
Peter can sing very good, and that is a pro on TikTok. So you could
ask me what my famous song is, best song.
John.
I'm not asking him anything.
I'll tell you anyway. Song sur l'amour.
Right. Now, I want to know, can you do a singing advert on TikTok? Not an advert for your singing, but singing an advert for your Mousy Man services.
I think you can. Because me singing that song.
We are the Mousy Men.
We are the mousy men. The mouse will kill your rats or kill your mice. I won't say the rest because it isn't nice. Right.
Go on, then, let's see it on TikTok, then repost it onto Facebook.
Yeah. Repurposing's the thing to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, back to normal, guys. Let's carry on with the show.
Okay, over to Chris, and Chris is saying, I had to search the word dude in a dictionary. Super that I can learn more English vocabulary here. You'll learn, well, all sorts of words, because we've got local dialects as well. We've got words which are relevant only in the counties in which we live.
Yeah.
And talking about being where we live, this is going to have a great bearing on how the three of us actually spend the next couple of weeks.
Well, Peter knows already, so because he's not affected by the English changes, is he? He's fortunate to be in the lower tier in Scotland.
I'm going to be sitting with the dogs and Sheila in the house because others are meeting, and I'll just have a miserable Christmas.
See, Christmas, this three families or three households, it makes people have got making possible choices. Do my daughter and her husband choose us, or do they choose his mum and dad? And the same for my son. Do he and his partner choose us, or do they choose her mum and dad? It's downright bloody ridiculous.
In a hat and pull them out. And that way it's fair.
It's unfair, blatantly unfair. First of all, first question, let's row back one. Should we have Christmas this year? I mean,
I don't think it's going to be very exciting. The only thing I'm really looking forward to, of course, it's the first Christmas I will have a grandchild at. Yeah. Apart from that, it's, not really very exciting, is it, these days?
I mean, it's another thing to say about, hey, listen, let's say people meet up for Christmas. I haven't seen you for ages, Glenn. And then in January, Glenn's not there. That's what scares me about all this.
Well, that's it, the potential of a third wave.
Yeah.
If everybody's left off the leash on December 22nd and they've got 5 days to party, and then on the 28th it's back to lockdown, during those 5 days, people are going to just let loose.
Absolutely, and a drink will be in, and people won't care, and I've had it, so nothing's going to happen to me. I'm all right, Jack. You know, I mean, who am I? But I've still got to protect myself too, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I would hate to get it after everything I've done in life, to be here in the first place. Heart problems, diabetes, asthma, then COVID bumps me off. No way.
Yeah.
Is somebody on YouTube yet?
Sorry?
Is there anyone on YouTube?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm in this studio. This is the only place I can see Peter.
Well, Corinda normally comes in via YouTube, and he's not here. So.
No. Yeah, that I don't think this should change things for Christmas. I mean, it's too late to actually do anything because our Prime Minister's promised it to everybody. But it would have made more sense just to carry on and keep damping things down. I mean, Liverpool is a prime example of what you can do if people do things right. I mean, they've had blanket testing, and they've gone down from 626 per 100,000 down to 162. So they prove that you can dampen down the occurrence of and the spread of COVID-19.
And the soldiers are pulling out. Did you know that? They don't need the army anymore.
That's good.
The other thing about this, though, is Exeter. Exeter has opened a new, what do you call that, hospitals?
Nightingales.
There's a Nightingale open there, and it's seemingly busy. Why Exeter? It's not in there.
Yeah, well, I think we've
got one on YouTube.
Right. I would love to be for Wiltshire to be in Tier 1, but I realistically think that most of England is going to be in Tier 2, John.
I think we've just got to give up maybe Christmas this year and think of others that haven't got anything.
Okay.
Think of the troops that used to be in the trenches at Christmas. That'd be a good idea.
To Chris, I haven't got your mention on time on YouTube, so I was late here on Facebook. Okay. I would certainly, to a certain extent, given up on Facebook because we don't know where we're going to be. And we don't know until we've gone live, and therefore we can't share it. Sharing the original post only causes confusion. So YouTube is our home for the moment. If you're watching on YouTube, it's the place to be. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's go over to. Sorry.
Do you want to know what's happening in Aberdeen?
Yes, please, Peter.
Okay. Let's start off with screen and then Chrome tab. Let's go to the NHS workers share. So this is the Aberdeen Evening Express. Just tell me when it's up, my friend.
Okay.
Is it there?
Okay, all yours, Peter.
Okay, so the frontline NH workers have thanked more than a dozen businesses and organisations signed up to the Pick Me Up project, which aims to help free up hospital beds. As part of the campaign, businesses are being asked to give their employees flexibility, where possible, to collect their loved ones and friends from hospitals when they are ready to go home. And this is very important because getting people out of the hospitals is essential so they can get the beds, because it's called bed blocking. If they can't get them out, they can't get new people in. And it's a big problem within the NHS, especially if there's no nursing homes to put them to, etc. So that just gives the staff more flexibility, and employers say that they want they can go at 3, and the boss says, no, you've still to work on, but they're letting them go. So well done, that employers. And I would do the same with the people that work for me. I dock their wages though, but it doesn't matter. Right, but that's, no, I wouldn't do that. So that's the Aberdeen Evening Express, and that's about the only news that I can give you worthwhile at the moment that hasn't got tragedy in it. So I'll stop that. Now this is this next one is from the same company, which is DC Thompson, that own both ones. Where am I going to go? So this is a good bit of good news. Share. Just let me know when that's up.
I think we're good now, Peter.
Okay, so this is for blind and deaf people to get help in navigating new benefits system. The North East Sensory Service, which is a local charity. And if there's one thing I would hate to be more than anything, is blind. So I have done things in the past for these. So blind and deaf people in the North East are receiving help in navigating Scotland's new benefits system. Now, we can find things hard as it is, never mind being blind and deaf, try to sort these things out. So there's people there to help them. So I think that's a good news story for these people. And let me tell you about a story about blind people while I'm at it. The guy was, a blind guy went to a new area, and he asked the man next to him, could you direct me to? And the man directed him to it, where he was going, and they got chatting away. And at the end of it, he says, I do this walk every day. He says, incidentally, I'm blind too. So that was a great story about being blind. Okay, that's all the news from Aberdeen, apart from rows and rows and rows of not so good news. Thank you, and that's the story from Aberdeen. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Right, let's sort things out. And we have a message from Jackie, and Jackie is saying she has successfully found us, and I'm watching on Facebook, and it's fine.
if I'm right, Jackie's from the allotments.
All right. Okay, but you're not going to the allotments
moved
today.
into a plot on the allotments. So, hello, Jackie. At least I hope I'm accusing the right Jackie of.
Could you confirm that you have an allotment? Okay. Right. Okay. The next topic, and if you've got any questions for John, Peter, and I, then please ask them. And Jackie's saying you're spot on, John.
Yeah, well, this is 3 old dudes. There used to be 4 of us. Unfortunately, one of us is taking a sabbatical. And we've been doing this for more than 5 years. So we come on every Thursday and have a natter and ramble on about things. And Peter sometimes sings, so we have to get the earplugs out. And actually, he's not bad.
Right. Now, sometimes a sportsman can actually transcend his sport and become known internationally. And unfortunately, well, I want to make mention of Maradona, because he was quite simply one of the best footballers ever. I mean, we're now going back to 1986 when he single-handedly beat England in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. But he did so because he was quite simply the best in the world. John?
Yeah, he was a cheat as well. But apart from that, he was a great bloke.
One hand does not a career make. I mean, he was superb. And and he was. I mean, there's 3 days of national mourning in Argentina in his honor, and he will line stake because he was a figurehead for the country, certainly in his early part of his career. And like most of us, was fallible. At 60 is much too early to leave us.
60, that's my age. That terrifies me.
Yeah, but you're the youngster here today.
Yeah, but basically he led the life of a superstar, and that was his downfall, really. But just to have seen him play was just absolutely brilliant. Which brings us to football.
Like
Are we going to get told that Burnley won?
Well, would I mention? Would I have an agenda item which says Burnley win? Good news is Burnley. Sorry, Peter.
Was it not usually say Burnley nil?
It has done for 5 weeks, Peter, but this week we won, which takes us off the bottom of the league, and we're on our way up now. Okay, and Peter's going away for a moment, and I'm going to hide Peter, and left with John and ourselves, so we can talk about football for a minute. Now we're safe.
Yeah, the Villa have gone off the boil, unfortunately.
Oh.
They're playing well, but not winning.
But soon they will have a crowd. The government have said that.
However, it's tier dependent. And if you get put in the top tier, you won't have a crowd.
Right. Okay. But potential.
It's no fans in the top tier, 2,000 fans in the mid tier, and 4,000 fans in the lowest tier. And we're expecting Birmingham to be put in the top tier.
Wait a minute. I can hear Peter still. So need to mute him. I know you can't hear him, but I can hear him. And there's nothing worse than hearing half a conversation at all. Okay. Anyway, Burnley have won. We're on our way. We're going to win. No, not going to win the Premiership. I mean, the London clubs are doing well now. Yeah. Spurs, Chelsea.
And Wolves have started to pick up.
Yeah. Man United, mid-table. They're making horrible starts to every season at the moment, aren't they? And then they get some speed up.
They are committed to a long-term plan. I mean, you know, it took Sir Alex 5 years to turn them into a great team. The trouble is, they were all old when he left, and now the people who followed him have struggled to turn it into a winning team. So I think our Norwegian friend is going to get a good while yet before they put the pressure on him.
Yeah. But just in case you didn't hear me say it earlier, Burnley have won. That's it.
Did you see the post-match interview with Mr. Dyche? So he was talking about the draw. The draw the week before was the turning point.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, if the gaffer says that, then, you know, it's got to be good.
They played well in that, and they played better this week. Although he was worried for 10 minutes when he thought they were going to give away a goal.
Okay. Now we have an annual Jungle Fest in the UK when our celebrities trek out to Australia and spend a horrible number of weeks in the jungle, battling everything. But obviously, in these times, the celebrities were not able to travel to Australia, so they've gone to Wales. But in order to make it realistic, the bugs who don't have any problems traveling have been imported. And Chris Packham, who's our natural wildlife person, has said if the bugs escape our celebrity, they could cause severe problems. Well, it's a real, genuine problem. I mean,
he's jumped on the bandwagon, though, because it was a Welsh dude, if we're going to use Chris's word of the day, that actually pointed all of this out. And Mr. Packham's riding on the back of his thing. because they didn't get a license. But it turns out, if you read this morning, that they've been bred in the UK. Even though they are foreign things, they have actually been bred in the UK.
Right, you okay now, Peter?
Yeah. What type of bug is it? What's the name of them?
All sorts of things.
If you ask John and me about bugs, you've noticed all sorts of things. From me too.
But bugs are go-tos that go wrong in programming. Those are the kind of bugs that Stephen and I deal with.
Yeah, that's right. Technical bugs, software bugs.
For instance, if it's cockroaches, you get German cockroaches, which incidentally the Germans call the French cockroach. You've got the Oriental cockroach. It all comes from where they've originated. But German cockroaches are mainly the bugs I see in Britain. You know, get a lot, and we're getting people with crickets as well now, because people keep amphibians and reptiles, and the people are breaking.
Well, apparently the bugs they're using have been bred as food for animals.
Yeah, yeah.
But they've had the police advice because they didn't get a license, and apparently they should have had a license
Since for
using the bugs.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly fond of Chris Packham, by the way. I think he jumps on everything, every little thing going, and tries to make a name for himself.
Yeah, he's a very hated man within my industry. Caused us a lot of problems.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, so much so he was getting threatened and everything by people. You know, they had dead things hanging in his front gate and everything. All to do with licensing.
Anyway. So, okay. Peter, have you started making coffees at home in a to-go cup?
I just happened to see these today, and I says I might as well use them and keep my tea. What's actually tea today? I'm having
tea. Oh, blimey!
Having tea today. With milk that I bought from Costco. Did you know that like a skimmed milk and that has actually got sugar substitute in it without you knowing? But I'm drinking a lot of full milk now, full cream milk now, and I feel better for it. And so this has got no lactose or anything in it. It's just another one.
I don't do milk except on breakfast cereal, and I don't do breakfast cereal very often.
I don't.
See, now I've got a nice stripy mug.
Okay, I don't do carbs now.
Red mug.
Bought in Plymouth when we last went to Plymouth.
That's a question. What have you got on the agenda? Stuff on the agenda.
Sorry, Peter?
What's on your agenda for the rest of the show?
On the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working our way through it because we're mentioning things naturally.
Okay.
We've spoken about TikTok.
Right.
We've spoken about... right, okay. Now, normally we'd be able to do our Christmas shopping in local shops, but increasingly people are actually buying online. And if there's a way to actually win, it's with bots. Now, somebody I know went to, he wanted an Xbox and it was on special offer. And he tried to get through on the website. He couldn't actually get through. Or it could have been his PlayStation, John. He was denied access.
New, aren't they? There's new versions of both.
Yeah, denied access several different times. He tried, but the truth is that the bots are winning at the moment, and the bots have been set up to actually surf pages which are likely to start Black Friday sales. And as soon as a Black Friday sale starts, you can sign up. You'll get an alert straight away so that you're in at the beginning. And the bots can also buy on your behalf.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all use Amazon, don't we?
Oh yeah.
And I've just opened up an Amazon business account. What a difference in price. Pair of boots, 32 quid. I got them for 19. Same boots. I get the book back.
Yeah.
And you can't fault them. I actually I've got 2 primes, would you believe? I've got a business prime, which is 40 quid.
Yeah.
And I've got which gives you more discounts and delivery next day. And I've got my own prime as well. So I've got to say, I can't fault Amazon. However, it's potential fraud. I love this phone. It tells me when it's potential fraud and everything's great. So they're gone. Yeah. I do feel sorry for the small businesses that are getting beat by Amazon, you know.
Well, there's a change taking place, hasn't there? We're all now more likely, we always did use Amazon, but more likely to use it now as the first port of call because we can't get to the shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a competitor to Amazon yet, as such?
Well, eBay's your alternative, isn't it? I
Yeah.
always go and check the prices on eBay because sometimes it's cheaper on eBay.
I don't like eBay for some reason. It's maybe because I forgot a password.
Yeah, you still need that password saver, Peter. Yeah, one of the questions that comes after this is, do you have a WH Smiths near you?
Yes.
Yeah. How can they stay open at the moment?
Because almost all of them round here contain the post office.
Oh, right. Ours doesn't. It's open though.
And a bit of food.
The post office is, apart from main central post offices, of all regional local post offices in the Birmingham area, are now inside other stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was inside Sainsbury's. Peter, where's your post office?
Well, I've got several I can go to. I've got one in the local shop. I've got one in another local shop. There's one in WH Smith's in the city centre. I've quite a few in my area I can go to, and I've actually got the local sorting office just 2 minutes away from me. So if I don't get a delivery and it ends up there, it's quite easy to go to.
Yeah, but have you seen the ridiculous hours it's open?
Yeah.
Hours are only open between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. for collections. What?
I know all my delivery drivers now, because for my delivery drivers and like that, I've got cans of beer and I always give them, when I says, have you delivered here before? No. And I give them a couple of cans of Tennant's Lager away with them. And they look after me. They know exactly where to put my stuff now. So look after your drivers. Incidentally, that's why there's no second-hand vans. They're all getting snapped up because people
are delivering for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The young man that bought some parcels here on Monday, yeah, he's finished his university degree this year, so months back. Can't get a job, so he's delivering parcels.
Pilots delivering parcels. One of my drivers, he says, "Hey, listen, Peter, I used to make £170,000 a year in the oil." He says, and I blew the lot.
Yeah.
No, I'm a delivery driver. He says, but I would do it again. I would do it again. What is the one thing that you're going to do after COVID?
Go away.
Have a holiday.
Yeah, have a holiday.
Sorry, but we're speaking over. What are you doing, John?
We're both doing the same thing. We both want to go on holiday.
Where are you going to go?
Well, depends on how well Celia is. If she's not well, then it will only be in the UK. Okay.
You're coming to Aberdeen still?
We'd like to go up to the northeast. I want to visit Stewart McBride's sites.
Yeah, as soon as you do that, you tell me all the sites and I'll have them ready for you. Now, what about you, Stephen? Where are you going?
Germany.
Ja, ich auch. Ich gehe nach Berlin. Prima.
Well, Angelika's been doing an A to Z of Germany, and it'd be nice to visit some of the places on the A to Z. Over to Chris, and Chris is saying in Belgium we also have boy.com or bol.com and Coolblue as competitors for Amazon. Okay.
For buying deliveries, Chris.
Yeah. That's it. We don't, obviously those are And we can also go to the supermarket, which has become a post point until 8 p.m.
So we're missing a few people who are normally with us today.
They're having a day off, obviously. Yeah. No worries. No worries. They catch the replay.
Our North American contingent isn't with us.
Oh.
No Kelly.
Right. Speaking of Germany, Germany is asking other countries to help them keep the ski resorts closed until the end of January. So that's got to be a multinational effort of cooperation to actually close down the ski slopes. With France, Austria, where else do we have ski slopes?
Mention France.
Don't you have ski slopes in northern Italy? I'm not a skier, so I wouldn't have a clue.
Never done skiing either.
Right. So we've got 3 non-skiers, and so that okay. When Stephen goes to Germany, he hopefully can make a stop at my hometown.
Where's your hometown?
In Belgium.
We don't know the answers, the real truth.
Near Antwerp.
Hopefully Chris will post up where.
I've been through there. Do you know what? There's a place called Venlo, right? And when British soldiers or British servicemen used to travel to the border of Holland, just before Holland, do you know what the area was covered in? Just in the border. It was full of jerry cans. The British would fill up with they used to have tokens. Yeah, we got fuel tokens, and we used to fill up jerry cans, go to the border, fill the cars up, and then they would be thrown in a ditch. And the British Army, every so often, would put British troops out to go and collect them all and take them back. Did you know about that, Stephen?
Do you know?
Yeah. So in Germany, we used to have coupons. And we used to have coupons for cigarettes and drink as well. And then the people that drove the tank transporters, the tank goes onto it, they were actually called the Mixed Service Organisation. And they were actually people that couldn't go back to their own countries after the Second World War. And they were a right mixed bunch, and they were funny. And they would come into your camp, they would set up, and there were Ukrainians, there were Polish, there were everything. Mixed Services Organisation, the British employed them, and they would come in and they would pester you to buy cigarettes and drink for them. It was so funny. And when we drove with them, you sat between the two of them, the big low loaders, and you would sit in a cab. And you know how they changed drivers? They didn't pull into a lay-by. One would climb over the back, sit behind the other one, and slide down, and the other one jumped up and he carried on the pedal. They were crazy.
Well, it looks like Chris lives in Father Christmas Town.
St. Nicholas in Belgium, not far from Antwerp.
St. Nicholas. All right, okay.
Okay, it's time to go to devisers. Well,
okay.
Peter and John take a break. I'm going to hide John's camera. I'm going to hide Peter's camera. I'm going to go picture in picture. Okay, and I'm going to change the layout again so that I can shrink a bit. Just bear with me a moment as we go over to devisers. And right. Okay, so I've shrunk. Okay, now underneath the banner at the bottom, basically local newspapers are also suffering during the current situation. And they're encouraging you to subscribe. And that black banner at the bottom actually says £2 for 2 months, which is quite a discount. But of course, then it goes up to its normal price of £5.99 soon after. Okay, so this is the Devisers Gazette and Herald. We used to have an office in the town, press office, But then they moved their centre of operations, so there is nobody based in Devizes at the moment. So it's retained the name, but it now is published somewhere else. Oh, and this is obviously an English thing. A headline: Brahman woman raises dough for essential charities across Wiltshire. Now, just a bit of help with this, Chris. Dough has two meanings. John will explain. Or not?
Will I? Okay. Well, dough you can bake with, but dough is also money. So here we've got, I suppose you could call it a pun on the word. So she's raising money by baking.
Yeah.
Hence, woman raises dough for essential charities.
Okay, and you can. Shall we have a look? Well, let's have
Go
a look.
on then. Let's see her buns. We're dying to see her buns.
That also has double meaning, which we won't go to at this time. Okay, so we've got the story there. I think there's nothing more to the story because we've not paid to see it. Okay, so
It wouldn't do that.
okay, so let's just scroll down the page. Devizes Gazette and Herald Diamond Wedding. More than 800 miles of Wiltshire paths could be lost. Now let's go and look at that story. And I'll tell you why. More than 800 miles of paths could be lost in Wiltshire unless they're registered in time by local authorities, a charity has warned. Volunteers from Ramblers have searched maps covering England and Wales and found 49,000 miles of unrecorded rights of way. Now, rights of way are a very English thing. I'm going to stop sharing the newspaper now. I'm going to stop sharing and come back to the three of us. Rights of way are a very English thing, are they not? And if you don't exercise your rights of way, you lose it. Now, one of it's a path. Paths go crisscross this country, and a lot of paths go through private property. If the path is a right of way, then if it goes through farmland, the farmer cannot restrict access to the path. He can't fence it off. He doesn't have to maintain it, does he? But rights of way are very important. In fact, there's a new charity been set up to actually map every single mile of pathway in the UK.
Yeah. You know there's no trespass law in Scotland?
There's not. You can go anywhere you want.
Yeah. But
wow.
You can't damage their crops. You know?
Yeah.
So we have to keep this up. We have found a beautiful bit. I'll film it for you. A beautiful bit for walking the dogs. And some dog walkers go there and there's nobody there. And they said, please don't tell anybody where this is. You know? No problem. And it is beautiful. It's like you just go and snowball. But the owners of it have said, please pick up your dog's doings, or we will put up a deer fence, you know? And it's so beautiful. It's like walking into another world. And I've lived here all my life, basically. And it's amazing what you can find. It's the land that time forgot, I would call it. You just go and there's nobody there. And just round the corner, there's a car park that's packed. No, there's no the right of trespass in Scotland. You basically can do that. People have tried to block off, but it's the hill walkers and everything fight them, you know.
I mean, that's basically the Ramblers have actually taken up the cudgel and are actually going to make sure that each individual county council.
I've got to tell you, one of the things I love watching is auditors. It's big in America. It's people with cameras, right? Auditing Britain's one of them. And they go outside prisons and they're filming on the public land, and the prison officers come running out, start giving him a hard time, and he said, breaking any laws? What are you doing here? He said, I have to tell you, but I am going to tell you, because we're here to speak about the corruption prison officers bringing in drugs, having affairs with inmates, and then they go to the police and they do the same, and they come running out and they try every trick in the book to try and book them, and they get beat because the photographers and the videographers know the law. And I'm sorry, but I think it's just funny to watch. And you see the coppers just, when a guy reads out the law to them, he says, we know it, you obviously don't. And they've tried to get him under terrorism, under Section 44. It fails every time, but keeps me amused.
And in these times, that's important, Peter, to be amused. I'm looking forward to going. Where do you think that is? A quick trick question. Where do you think it is?
I think it's in Britain at a lake.
It's a lake. I'll give you. That's 1 point. It's a man-made.
Peak District?
Nope, it's not in England.
Right. Scotland?
Next one. No, it's not in Scotland either. Any guesses in the audience as to where this particular place is? It's a real.
It must be in Wales, boy.
No, it's not in England, Wales, or Scotland, or Ireland. It's in that Europe thing, the EU.
We have a place, 2 places like that, not far from us.
Let's
where
just
we've
show.
got beaches next to lakes.
Right, I'll go full screen for a moment. The beach behind me is man-made. The motorway was being built, and they needed, they needed to take the soil from here to the motorway to build the motorway embankments, and this became a lake, and it's now become a popular tourist destination with its own restaurant. And during summer, it's packed. It's got car parks, it's got tourist hotels, it's got everything you need to actually have a holiday. But originally, it was just grazing land. Now it's a beach.
Good. There's
Okay.
where is it?
It's in Shutoff.
Shutoff. Where's that?
It's near to the Dutch border.
Right.
It's Angelica's hometown.
Ah, right, okay. Shutoff.
Shutoff. Schuttorf.
Shutoff. So it's Shutoff for everything else.
It's definitely Peter, yes.
Do you know they've got a place like that up in a real lake up in near Inverness, Loch Morlich? Absolutely packed in the summer.
Okay.
Guess
from Jackie.
When I worked in London, we would put out the cones in the road, set up the roadworks, and then near Heathrow, there was big areas where they kept all the water for London. But it was like a lake, and we used to go there because we had about 3-4 hours off between picking up the stuff. We used to go there with our trunks and everything, swimming in the water there. It was great. It just reminds me of that. Fantastic.
Yeah. Right, the guesses who came in. Thank you, everyone, for your guesses. So Chris was spot on first time round, a lake in Germany. Jackie was far off, definitely in the EU, Jackie.
And in fact, we have one of these in Meriden. It's called Hart Beach and Country Park, or Hart Country Park and Beach. I can't remember which way around it is.
Yeah, very good.
It's got a mini fair there as well.
Right, and Jackie's saying they've got
because of COVID.
Right. Jackie's saying they have some in France too, and Chris is saying where Angelica lived. Because of course, if you'd been watching Ask Angelica, which is tomorrow, tomorrow, 2 p.m, 9 a.m. Eastern, this was one of the Ask Angelicas when we actually visited Shutoff. And this week we're visiting somewhere beginning with T. I don't know where it is yet. I will find out later today. So if you want to learn some German, 2 o'clock tomorrow, same channel that you found this on. And we look forward to seeing it. It's about 20-25 minutes. And we have a great fun actually doing it. So that's the advert. Okay. Well, that's the comments up to date. Let's look at the agenda. Have we anything left on the agenda?
I've got something.
Okay, Peter.
What do you think about us dropping our foreign aid to 0.5% of GDP, which means we're still paying more than larger countries than us. What do you think of that now?
I can only liken it. I think it's sad. It's a sad reflection on the fact that they wanted to do it for a long time, and they've actually now taken the opportunity, because of everything else that's going on, that they won't get much criticism, and they can just wipe it off. Basically, I think it doesn't show us in a good light. That's my take.
But we're paying more than most other countries, percentage-wise.
That's
Why is
because
that?
we historically we always have.
But
And
have we not been funding countries that really didn't need the money?
Say that again, John, please.
I said, haven't we been funding countries that didn't really need the money?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that cutting it is right or wrong. I'm saying that at some stage, some of it's been somewhat misused.
Why are we funding China? Why are we funding India? Here's the thing I would say. I want to know I want to follow every penny. Let me tell you a story. A guy I know here in Aberdeen, a Rotary Club, went to a country. They were helping an orphanage, and they decided, all of them, to go over and visit this orphanage. And they went and they visited the orphanage. The kids were all happy. They had food in front of them. They had toys in front of them. They looked brand new toys as well. Great. And everybody had a jolly time. Then they left. But one of them said, I'm going to stay for a couple of days and go and visit them after. And when he went there, not one toy was there. He phoned back and he said to the treasurer, stop the money now. That's what happened. And that's why we should trace every penny if it's to get water to a country. But we don't want dancing groups and things like that. There's people on the streets here that need it. I don't mind helping, but here's a better thing. Do you know what Britain's good at? If you've got spare cash, you put your money in to where you want it to go. That's what I would say. End of.
That's fine. I mean, if the money, the 0.2% is going to go to people in the UK, I'm all for that. If, however, it's going to get swallowed up elsewhere and just disappear, you know, yeah. Jackie said she's got to go now, so Jackie won't hear us when we say goodbye, Jackie. But
this is Hart Country Park in Meriden.
All right, a minute.
It's about 7 miles from me. It's not the greatest photo because it's clipped from a newspaper site, but just to show you that we do have such things in England. There's another one in Derbyshire and another one in Leicestershire in the same group.
Right.
You know, when we used to go to Blackpool, they had a lovely mere there as well. And it's great to find out about these places before you go. I used to go to Scarborough quite a lot as well, in holiday.
I used to work for a Blackpool-based company when I was young, and I mean like 19, 20. And I used to go up there and stay for a week. And I used to like going to Stanley Park, which is where the zoo is, but the park itself was fantastic as well. I don't believe it's quite so good these days, but yeah.
John, do you remember the battleships there?
Pete, you know, I'm 65 in a couple of weeks. I'm talking about when I was 19, 45 years ago, Pete. I don't remember my name from 45 years ago.
For those that you don't know, they've got battleships. They have a war in the pond. They're radio controlled, and they've also got people inside the battleships doing the battle. And have planes come. Did you know about that, Stephen?
So Peter.
They've got wires, and you've got planes coming on. You've got a commentator. Fantastic It really, really is good to see. British one, of course, but there you go. Here's one thing I can do in the morning. Do you know what song really gets to me? Heart of Oak. So when I get up early morning, sometimes you've maybe seen me posting. I put on the Valley the other day. Did you see it? With the trumpeter.
I'm not sure why you get up at 3:20 in the morning, though, Pete.
I actually go to bed early and fall asleep, and then so I've got into that pattern. And you'd be surprised how many people are like that. It's just COVID. It really is. And I miss meeting people. That's why I'm here, to annoy you. And I met one of online. I met one Mr. Silk's. What do you call it? Customers. I told them to send on my regards. It's a pest control guy.
Yeah. He was Stephen was marketing or helping him the other day. I saw.
Yeah.
Right. Who said? Oh, I got the answer as well. I have to make tough choices on public pay.
So that means the people that carried the brunt of the COVID infections, the NHS, will get bugger all for all their supreme efforts, which is pretty disappointing.
It is.
I've just got a pay rise.
The NHS nurses and doctors have got a 2% pay rise, and the rest of the people who've been helping us in recent months have got zilch, as John said.
Yeah.
It's still.
It's basically the people who are on lower pay who are the ones who are going to suffer in the next year or so.
And also, there's the different way of calculating pension increases that's going to affect anyone with a defined benefit pension.
Yeah. It's all being skewed. Yeah.
Yeah. What my partner, she's a waspy woman. She keeps trying to see if she can get more money out of the government for the waspy thing.
Okay. So the news in England is that we're waiting later to hear from our revered parliamentarians as to whether we're in tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. If we're in tier 1, we can start returning to normal. If we're in tier 3, the pubs won't open. So it's just we're going through a difficult time. Christmas is the carrot that's being held out, so that if we continue to observe the suggestions, that's distancing, wearing a mask, and social gathering numbers, then we should get through and we should have Christmas. My own thoughts, and I'm going to go with my thoughts, and we'll go around the table, is that we shouldn't change anything over Christmas. We've got this far. Let's just double down and make sure the virus, until we get the vaccine in the country, that is the most excellent news. There are now 4 vaccines that are going to be available, if not later this year, early next year. They will see off COVID-19 once and for all. John?
I'm sort of torn really on Christmas this year, because obviously I want to spend some time with my granddaughter, but it's my children I feel sorry for, because they've got impossible decisions. Is it our family or is it their other half's family? Yeah. I think they would have been better off saying, tough, we ain't having Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Victor?
You know who I feel sorry for? People that have towed the line since March. I've met them. Haven't went out, got their shopping delivered, haven't seen anyone as such, got on with it, done what they were told. and all for the sake of a couple of days of meeting people, could die just because people wanted to meet. It's okay until it's your family. Give some money to charity. Don't worry about Christmas. Celebrate when it's all over. And as Maggie Thorpe would say, rejoice. Rejoice that we've beaten COVID with the vaccine.
Did she talk from the grave then?
That has to be the goal. And on a week where we didn't mention America, that's success in itself. It means all's quiet. John, it's over to you.
Success in America? Anyway, it seems that the orange monster has finally accepted that Mr. Biden is going to go forward. Well, he's authorized the transition to start.
You've been listening to that MSM again, John.
CNN, MSN, CBC.
CNN. Oh, you've been listening to the wrong channels.
BBC.
Oh.
British Bust-Up Corporation. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll see what happens, won't we? We're so close to the day where everybody has to validate, aren't we? So it will all come to a point on December the 12th. Anyway, so it's goodbye from the beach in Meriden, goodbye from the beach in Germany, and goodbye from the library in Scotland. And we'll see you all same place, same time next week. And thanks for joining us, those that joined us. Bye.